$90,000 to the good, and more importantly,
so you become $90,000 to the good, and more importantly,
the police discovered that while his wife and children were away, Chris was having a secret affair with a coworker named Nicole Kessinger. They talked to her. Take a look.
Nicole Kessinger. They talked to her. Take a look.
People are going to probably, but I don't think, not me, like instructing him, but him deciding to do that because, like, he had to influence deciding so they infatuated with what we had going on. Because he was so infatuated with what we had going on. I try to put the reason to it in, like, why would you, like, I try to put the reason to it in, like, why would you, like, it doesn't like impute. It's like, how would that go? Like, can my family just disappear? And you think that I'm gonna just not be concerned about that?
Okay, and by the way, take a look at that picture of her.
By the way,
and his wife.
Take a look at that picture of her.
Do you notice they look an awful lot alike?
Dr. Phil, though, wait, hold on a moment. She shouldn't, Nicole Kessinger should not feel that special, okay? Because he was meeting people on Tinder. I don't know how much he banked on those two running off together, because he's seeing other women as well behind Shanann's back.
Yeah, if they'll do it with you, they'll do it to you.
True.
Let's look at this Tinder tape.
True.
Let's look at this Tinder tape.
The parking lot, Chick-fil-A. We just like, it's funny. The parking lot, Chick-fil-A. And my house was going to drink, and then they just went back to my house. And my house was going to drink, and then they just went back to my house. And she was pulling my hair, and putting his arms around her. She was pulling my hair. It was like a weird fantasy thing. That's how I describe it. It was like a weird fantasy thing. That's how I describe it. That's really like,
and again, we're showing him impulse, no impulse control, immediate gratification, and no sense of how this is going to play once your family disappears. What are you going to tell your girlfriend?
Once your family
next
disappears.
The telling text Shanann sent her friend before she was killed. We'll take a look at that when we come back.
Shanann sent her friend before she was killed. We'll take a look at that when we come back.
We did it again. I like that shirt. That's awesome. I like that shirt. That's awesome. Guess when you want to, it happens. Guess when you want to, it happens.
I want to take a look at where he was told that he failed the polygraph. And, Steve, you've been in that room. I want you to comment on this after we look at it.
Steve, you've been in that room. I want you to comment on this after we look at it.
Did you know where Shanann's disappeared? No. Did you physically? Are you lying about the last time you saw Shanann? No. Are you lying about the last time you saw Shanann? Results, okay. So, it was clear that you were not on during the testing, and you already know that. You were not passed the polygraph test, right? Okay. So now we need to talk about what actually happened. I feel like you're probably ready to do that. What actually happened? I don't care. You don't know how I'm ready to do that. Chris, I'm not stop. Stop. I'm taking a breath. Everything that I just told you, I take it. I did not lie on this polygraph. Everything that I have told you, how much I did lie on this polygraph. I tell you right now, like, I did not. It's not an option right now because you did not pass the polygraph. I know you're being accepted. It's not an option right now because you did not pass right now. The issue right now is what happened to Shanann. The issue right now. The issue right now is what happened to Shanann. And Celeste. That's the issue right now. If we bring him to death. Would it be easier if you told him and he told us? Would it be easier if you told him and he told us? Sure. Yeah. Sure. And then, well, no, not her. And then her. Came back up. They're gone. Came back up. They're gone. I'm gonna let you talk her about separation and everything. I'm gonna let you talk her about separation and everything. I can tell. I can tell. Doesn't like it. Doesn't like it.
That's chilling. What's happening in that room at that point from
That's chilling.
the police?
What's happening in that
When
room
he
at
says
that point
okay,
from
it's not something an innocent person.
When he
He's
says
confirming
okay,
that he
it's
failed the lie
not
detector
something
test.
an innocent
And then he
person.
says,
He's
I don't know
confirming
what
that he
else or
failed the
what
lie
I
detector
can
test.
tell you.
And then he says,
they
I don't
boom
know
in their
what
mind we
else or
got
what
him.
I can tell
What was
you.
the moment?
That
What
they
was the
boom in
first
their mind, we got
identifiable
him.
moment or
What was the
behavior
moment? What was the
that
first
indicated that this was
identifiable
going
moment
to
or
happen?
behavior
He didn't want a third
that
baby.
indicated
He
that
was
this was
afraid.
going to
He
happen?
couldn't financially
He didn't
afford
want
that.
the third baby.
He wanted to
He was
separate,
afraid.
and his
He
wife
couldn't
was not
financially
going
afford
along with that. And
He wanted to separate,
he
and his
really
wife was not
fancied
going
himself
along with that.
as
And
a
he
new man.
really
Look how much
fancied
weight he had
himself
lost. He had
as
really gotten himself
a
in
new
shape.
man.
He wanted
Look
to
how
hit
much
the
weight he
reset
had
button.
lost. He had really
And
gotten
in
himself
his
in
ignorant,
shape. He wanted
immature
to hit the reset button.
way,
And in
he thought
his
this was the way
ignorant,
to go about it.
immature
What motivated Chris
he thought this was the way
to
to go
kill
about
his
it.
family isn't even in the
What
book of
motivated
killing
Chris
your family
to
motivation.
kill his family
Right.
isn't
It just
even in
he
the
wanted
book of
freedom.
killing your
He
family
wanted
motivation.
exactly as you
Right.
described, to be free of the
He
problems
wanted
of daily
exactly
marital
as you described, to be free
life.
of the
Now, Shanann
problems
sent a
of
text
daily
to a friend
marital,
and
life.
said, here's what I
Now,
plan to
Shanann
say
sent
to
a
you.
text to a
I
friend
know that you need
and
time. I
said,
want to
"Here's
give
what
you
I
what
plan
you're
to say to
asking
you.
for and respect
I
your
know that you need
space.
time. I want to give you what you're
It is not
asking
healthy
for and
for
respect
me
your
or
space.
Nico. I need
It is
you
not
to
healthy
just
for
give
me
a little
or
bit
Nico.
of what I
I
did
need
or didn't
you
do.
to just give a
So I'm
little
not
bit
going crazy.
of what
She's
I
saying,
did
tell me.
or didn't do.
In my head,
So I'm not going
to
crazy.
figure it out.
She's
I
saying,
know
"Tell
I
me."
can't fix
In
this
my
by
head,
myself.
to
that
figure
we are
it
going
out.
to have
I
to
know
work
I
together.
can't fix this by
And while
myself.
she's planning
that
this,
we are going to have to work together.
he's planning her
And while
murder.
she's planning this,
We'll be right back.
he's planning her murder. We'll be right back.
Candace, final comments about this. What do they need to know to understand and protect themselves?
Any
What do
man's
they need to know to
that's in a similar
understand and
situation,
protect themselves?
Any man's
don't be afraid to
that's in a
speak up.
similar
You know, I
situation,
do not want another child. Or,
don't be afraid to speak
we're
up.
spending
You know,
too
I
much
do not
money.
want another
The kids
child.
are not going to private
Or,
school.
we're
Release some
spending
of the
too much
pressure
money. The kids are not
from the
going to
marriage.
private
And
school. Release
it
some
might
of
just
the
get better.
pressure,
And from the woman's
from
point of
the
view,
marriage. And
or from the
it
wife's
might
point
just
of
get
view,
better. And
if
from
your
the
husband
woman's
is under
point of
a
view,
lot of pressure and is pulling
from the
away
wife's
from
point
you,
of view, if your
you need to
husband
be
is under
very
a lot
vigilant.
of
And if he
pressure and
is
is
seeing
pulling
another
away from
woman,
you,
that
you
woman
need to be
has
very
his heart.
vigilant.
And
And if he
you
is
are
seeing
in
another
trouble.
woman, that
Take
woman
precautions.
has his
Leave if
heart,
you have
and
to.
you
Nancy?
are in trouble.
You know, Dr.
Take
Phil, I'm
precautions.
just so
Leave if you have to.
overcome
Nancy?
with the
You know,
sadness of
Dr.
this
Phil,
case.
I'm just so
What I take
overcome
away from this is
with the sadness of
this
this case.
is the truth.
What I take
This is
away
what
from this
happens.
is
And if you
this
are in a
is the truth.
relationship
This
and
is
you're
what
the only
happened.
one
And if you
in
are
it,
in a relationship
and you're trying and
and
trying
you're
and
the only
trying,
one
you
in
got a
it,
guy like Chris
and
Watts,
you're
it's not
trying
going
and
to get
trying and
better.
trying,
You need
you
to
got a guy
leave
like
and
Chris
find
Watts.
your
It's not going to
happiness.
get better. You need to
Yes.
leave
What
and
Yeah,
find
and
your
the other thing
happiness.
is that these type of people can
Yeah,
be natural
and
performers.
the other thing
they
is that
are very
these type of
likable.
people
They're
can
very
be natural
approachable.
performers.
They can be very charismatic.
likable, they're very
And when you
approachable,
tap
they
into
have-
things
they can be
that
very
you find fault
charismatic.
with, they
And when
become
you tap
unglued.
into
So look
things
for
that
those
you
signs.
find fault
Do they
with,
have
they
the
become
appropriate
unglued.
emotion
So
that
look for
fits what
those
they're
signs.
saying? If
Do they
things are
have the
off,
appropriate
ladies and
emotion
gentlemen,
that fits what they're
listen to
saying?
that
If
because
things
that's
are
telling
off,
you it is
ladies
off.
and
And
gentlemen,
don't
listen
make
to that because that's telling
excuses
you
for
it
it.
is off.
Steve,
And
you're an
don't
enforcer
make,
here. You're a policeman here.
excuses
You
for it.
deal with these
Steve, you're an
perpetrators.
enforcer here. You're a
Tell these
policeman
people
here.
how
You
to protect.
deal with these
Dr.
perpetrators.
Phil, it takes about 7
Tell
times
these
in
people
domestic
how to
issues
protect.
before a woman will come
Dr. Phil,
forward
it takes
and
about
take
7
action
times
against her
in
husband.
domestic issues before a woman will come
in this
forward
case with
and
Watts,
take action
he had
against
a
her
great
husband.
front
So
stage. Look for those little things, those little subtle things
He had a great
behind
front
the stage
Look for
that are
those
going to tell you
little
that there's
things, the little
problems.
subtle
And it may be not be something you need to contact law enforcement for, but reach out to social services, reach out to a psychologist. And I just want to say that law enforcement did an excellent job. He was a horrible criminal, and thank God for
law
that.
enforcement did an excellent job. He
Don't
was
be
a
in
horrible
denial.
criminal, and thank God
I mean,
for that.
if something doesn't feel
Don't be in
right,
denial.
acknowledge
I
that
mean,
to
if
yourself.
something doesn't
I'm not
feel right,
saying give up,
Acknowledge
but I'm
that to
saying
yourself.
also be
Don't-
aware
I'm not
in your
saying
mind
give up,
and
but
take
I'm saying
precautions.
also be aware in your
My
mind.
wife Robin is
and
one of the
take
foremost
precautions.
ambassadors
My wife
in the
Robin
fight
is
against
one of the
domestic
foremost
violence.
ambassadors,
And she just
in
returned
the
from
fight
Capitol
against
Hill where she
domestic violence.
testified about this and some
she
other
just
issues
returned
with
from
women
Capitol Hill where
about
she
domestic
testified
violence.
about this
And
and some other issues
she
with women
has something that
about
she
domestic
created
violence.
called the
And
Aspire app.
She has something
And
that she
the
created
Aspire
called
app
the Aspire
is an app that you put on
And
your
the
smartphone,
Aspire app
and you can
is
download it
an
for
app
free.
that you put on
and
your
it looks
smartphone,
like a news
and
app.
you can download it for
just
free,
says news,
and
and
it
when you
looks
open
like
it,
a
sure
news
enough,
app.
it gives you the
It
news.
just says news, and
But
when you open
it
it, sure enough,
actually
it gives you the news.
Is an alert.
But it
because
actually
you tap it 3
is
times
an alert.
and it sends out
Because
a message
you tap it
to
3
whoever
times,
you have
and
pre-programmed
it sends
it
out
that
a
says,
message
I'm in
to
trouble and I
whoever
need
you
help
have
and I need it
pre-programmed
now.
it that says,
right.
And
I'm in
this
trouble
is a
and I need
lifeline
help and I
that
need it
saves
now.
lives, right?
That's
And
right.
this is
And
a
sometimes your
lifeline
abuser
that
will take
saves
your phone
lives,
away
right?
from you.
That's right.
So I always
And
like to tell
sometimes your
everyone,
abuser will
if
take
you
your
know
phone
that you
away
have a
from you.
friend, a
So I always
coworker,
like
or a
to tell
family member
everyone,
being
if
abused,
you know that you
and
have a
maybe they have
friend,
had
a
their phone
coworker,
taken
or a family
away,
member
do your
being
best to
abused,
sneak a phone
and
to
maybe they
the
have
victim
had their phone taken
and
away. Do your
download
best to
that
sneak
app.
a phone
And
to
there's
the
always a
victim
way.
and
Find that way to
download
get a
that
phone
app.
to a
And there's
victim
always a
so they
way.
have it, they can
Find that
hide
way
it,
to
and
get a
that's
phone
their
to
lifeline
a
out of
victim.
that
So they
situation.
have it,
And especially
they
if
can
they
hide
have
it, and
children.
that's their
They're on
lifeline
that
out of
app.
that
There is a
situation.
page
And
that
especially if
tells
they have children.
shelters
They're
and
on that app.
other places
There is
to
a
go
page that
when
tells
they're ready to get out.
shelters and,
But also it
other
says the
places to
safe way to
go
exit
when they are
a
ready to
violent
get out.
situation.
But also
So
it
there's
says
all
the
kinds
safe
of
way to
information on there,
exit
very
a violent
life-saving
situation.
information.
So
I'm
there's
very proud of the
all
app.
kinds
It
of
was recognized on
information on there,
Capitol
very
Hill as
life-saving
one of the top 2
information.
apps
Very proud of the app.
at
It was
best
recognized on
educating
Capitol Hill as one of the top 2
victims
apps
and everyone else on
at best
domestic violence.
educating,
So I do hope that
the
people will
victims and
go
everyone
to
else on domestic violence. So
whengeorgiasmiled.org
I do hope that
and
people will
download the app.
go
It's
to
free, and it will save lives. So I'm very proud of
and
that.
download the app. It's free,
And,
it will save lives. So very
Think
proud.
about it ahead of time. If you know you're in a tough situation, make plans because you may need them.
Know you're in a
So
tough situation.
I hope you understand
Make
more
plans
about what
because you
happened
may
after
need them.
today. Thank you so
I
much,
hope you
Candace,
understand
Nancy.
more
Thank
about
you.
what happened
See, all
after
this
today.
has
Thank you so
been
much,
so
Candace,
enlightening. I've
Nancy.
learned a lot
Thank
today.
you.
I hope
See,
you have
all
as well.
this is-
So I want to
been
thank all of
so
my guests today
enlightening. I've
for
learned
their
a lot today. I
invaluable
hope you have as
expertise.
well.
I want
So
to
I wanna
remind
thank
you
all
that
of my
this
guests
story
today
is
for their
really
invaluable
about these
expertise.
victims.
I want to
Little
remind you that
Celeste
this
and
story
Bella
is really
will never
about
get to
these
grow up,
victims.
and
Little
Shanann
Celeste
will
and
never
Bella
get to
never
welcome
get
her
to grow
baby
up,
son.
and
And
Shanann
Chris
will
Watts
never
will spend the rest
get
of
to
his
welcome her
life
baby
behind
son.
bars paying for this
And
heinous
Chris Watts
crime.
will spend the rest
May
of his life
Shanann,
behind
Bella,
bars paying
Celeste,
for
and
this
her
heinous
unborn
crime.
son Nico
May Shanann,
rest
Bella,
in peace.
Celeste, and her unborn son
For
Nico
more information, go to
rest in peace.
drphil.com. Thanks for
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, her ex entered her mom's home.
I saw a shotgun.
I said, why are you doing this? I thought, okay, I'm dead.
He went to prison, but his family
His mother is petitioning for grandparent rights.
isn't going anywhere.
I've never gotten an apology from her. She didn't do it. You're not normal.
How selfish are you? Picking a fight with her when your mother's trying to get access back to her grandson. Let's do it. This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. Let's count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4,
I don't know how to get about it. Anita says she will never forget
Well,
the
Anita
terrifying day
says
her
she
former
will
son-in-law
never
Dylan
forget
entered her
the
home through
terrifying
an
day
unlocked
her
door
former son-in-law
with a
Dylan
loaded shotgun in
entered
her
her home
hand,
through an unlocked
with his
door
finger on the trigger,
with a
looking
loaded
for her
shotgun
daughter
in hand,
Alexa
with
and her
his
baby
finger on the
grandson.
trigger, looking for her daughter
Anita said
Alexa
it was the most
and her baby
frightening day
grandson.
of her entire life.
Anita said
It ended
it
in a
was the most
dramatic
frightening
police
day
chase.
of her entire life. It ended in a dramatic
It
police
was
chase.
2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was the sound of the dog gate that alerted me. I noticed someone coming around the corner, and it was Dylan. I saw a shotgun in his hand with his finger on the trigger.
My mom immediately knew that something wasn't right.
I got into his face and I said, "What, Dylan?" There was a blank look in his eye the whole time. It's like he wasn't there.
I totally recognized that it was a dangerous situation.
I said, "Dylan, go put the gun away." And he said no. And then Dylan asked where my husband was.
And he said no.
And I
then Dylan
responded,
asked
"Why?"
where my husband
And he
was.
said, "Because I want to talk to
And I
all of you,
responded, "Why?"
and then you're going to watch
And
me
he
kill
said,
myself."
"Because I want to talk to
I said,
all of
"That's
you,
not going to
and then
happen
you're gonna
today,
watch me
Dylan."
kill
And then
myself.
Alexa came
I
around the
said,
corner.
"That's not gonna
The
happen
baby
today,
started
Dylan."
crying,
And then Alexa came around the
Alexa
corner.
screamed, "Oh
The
my
baby
gosh, he
started
has a gun!"
crying,
And then
and
Dylan pushed her.
Alexa screamed,
My mother
"Oh my gosh, he
100%
has a
protected
gun."
my
And then
son and I
Dylan
with
pushed
her life.
I picked up my grandson who was crying,
with her life.
and I said to
picked up my
Dylan,
grandson who was crying.
Why are you
And I said to Dylan,
and he said, "Well, she
"We
cheated
loved you.
on me."
Why are you doing
I was
this?
looking
And he
straight
said,
in
"Well,
his
she
eyes
cheated on me."
the whole time, but I was
looking
also
straight
looking
in
at
his
that
eyes
gun.
the
I
whole
got him
time,
out the front
but I
door
was also
somehow,
looking at that
and I'm
gun.
poking him
I
with
got
my
him out the
fingernail
front
in
door
his
somehow,
chest.
And
And
I
I said,
poking
"Quit
him with my fingernail
doing
in
this."
his chest.
Then he caught
And
the
I
gun.
said, "Quit
I thought,
doing
okay,
this."
I'm
Then he
dead.
caught
I'm
the
ready
gun.
to go.
I
At least
thought,
I know
okay,
my daughter's
I'm
safe
dead.
and my
I'm
grandson
ready to
is
go.
safe.
At least I know my daughter's
And then he
safe
ran
and my
down the
grandson
stairs
is safe.
and he got into his truck
And then
took
he ran
off.
down the stairs.
The cops
and
were
he
already
got
on their
into
way.
his truck and he took
Dylan
off.
drove up here,
The cops were already on
drove
their
to the
way.
end of this cul-de-sac and
Dylan
parked his
drove up
truck
here,
and started
drove
smoking a
to the end of
cigarette.
this cul-de-sac
There were
and
multiple
parked his
police
truck
cars that
and started
confronted
smoking
him.
a cigarette.
They shot
There were
14
multiple
times from
police
what I
cars
remember,
that confronted
and
him.
one cop
They
hit
shot
him.
14
One of them
times from
caught
what I
him
remember,
in his
and
shoulder and
one
he
cop
slumped
hit
down.
him.
He was
One of
arrested
them
and taken
caught
to the
him
hospital.
in his shoulder and he slumped down.
Well,
He
Dylan was
arrested and
ultimately
taken to the
sentenced to
hospital.
9 years in prison for numerous charges,
Dylan was
including
ultimately
assault with a
sentenced to
deadly
9
weapon,
years in prison
burglary,
for numerous
evading
charges,
police, and
including
child
assault
endangerment.
with a deadly
When
weapon,
Dylan went to
burglary,
prison, his mom,
evading
Sherry,
police, and child
was allowed to
endangerment.
see her grandson,
Dylan
but
went to
now she
prison,
claims
his mom,
Alexa
Sherry,
has
was
completely
allowed
cut
to
her
see her
off.
grandson, but
Why?
now she claims Alexa
Because according
has
to
completely
Alexa,
cut her
Sherry
off.
refuses to
Because
accept
according
her
to
son's
Alexa,
responsibility
Sherry
in the gun
refuses
incident.
to accept
Sherry
her
is ready
son's
to take Alexa to
responsibility in the
court
gun
to
incident.
petition for grandparents'
Sherry
rights.
is ready to take Alexa to
Take a
court
look.
to petition for grandparents'
Dylan's mom,
rights.
Sherry, made it seem that it was all my fault that Dylan had been shot. Like I pushed him over the edge.
3 months ago, Alexa severed my grandson's relationship with Dylan's side of the family.
I don't want my son to be around Sherry because I feel like she's going to sabotage a relationship between my son and I. Sherry is on a whole different page for me when it comes to parenting. She's told my son that his dad lives in the mountains and he has a house. I have told my son that his dad is in big boy timeout. I keep it short and simple so he doesn't get confused.
I do blame the family for what Dylan did. They knew that Dylan had problems. I think that Sherry is an enabler.
He's the one who decided to come to my mother's house with a loaded shotgun and threatened my son's life, my mother's life, and my life.
Sherry applied for grandparent rights. We will see how it goes. If I had my way, I would have nothing to do with these people.
If I had my way, I would have nothing to do with
Well,
these
Anita,
people.
Alexa, I'm glad to meet both of you. I'm glad
Well,
you're here.
Anita, Alexa,
Anita,
I'm glad to meet both of you.
you
I'm glad
full
you're
well
here.
believed you were going to
Anita,
die that day, true?
You
Yes, I
full
did.
well believed you were going to die that day, true?
But I was okay
Yes,
with
I
it.
did.
You were okay with
But I
it
was okay
because
with
you
it.
had drawn him away from your daughter and
You
your
were okay
grandson?
with it
Yes.
because you had drawn him
And
away from your daughter and your
what-
grandson?
Yes.
What was
And
going through your head when you
what-
realized that he was
What was
in your
going
home
through your head when you
with a weapon?
realized that he was
Honestly,
in your home
I thought that he was going
with
to
a
possibly
weapon?
kill my ex-boyfriend at the time,
Honestly, I thought that
shoot
he
me,
was
and
gonna
then shoot
possibly
himself
kill my
because I
ex-boyfriend
left
at
him
the
for
time,
somebody else.
shoot me,
Right.
and then shoot
Did
himself.
you see
because
anything like
I
this
left him
coming?
for somebody else.
I didn't
Right.
see anything
Did
coming
you
with
see
Dylan, but my
anything like
mother
this coming?
definitely thought
I
something
didn't
was
see
going to
anything
happen.
coming with
His
Dylan, but my
mother
mother
claims
definitely thought
that
something
you
was going
caused
to
him to
happen.
snap.
His mother
The
claims
breakup, your conduct,
that you caused him to
snap. What do you say to
the
that?
breakup,
I say
your
absolutely
conduct
not.
caused him
Dylan
to
is his
snap.
own
What do you say
individual
to that?
person.
I
Dylan
say
chose
absolutely
to do what
not.
he did.
Dylan
he had
is
2
his
hours
own
as he was
individual
driving
person.
to think
Dylan
about what he was
chose
doing,
to do what
and
he
he
did.
still
He had
chose
2
to do what
hours
he
as
did.
he was driving
So
to think about what he
you're
was
saying
doing,
this wasn't
and he still
an
chose to do what he
impulse
did.
passion.
So
this was
you're saying this
premeditated, and
wasn't
he
a-
had time to
an
cool off. He
impulse
had time to
passion.
think.
This
He
was
had to be clear-headed
premeditated,
enough
and
to
he had time
navigate
to cool
traffic,
off.
get
He had
around,
time to
get
think.
there,
He had
and
to be
then
clear-headed
he got
enough
in
to
the
navigate
house in a
traffic,
very
get
stealthy
around,
way,
get
correct?
Yeah, he
And
walked
then
up the stairs
he
like
got
it
in
was.
the house
He
in
was
a
just
very
there. Hey
stealthy
guys,
way,
what's
correct?
up?
Yeah, he
With
walked
the
up the
loaded
stairs
shotgun
like it
in
was.
his hand, and his
He was
finger
just
was on
there.
the
Hey
trigger.
guys, what's up?
You
With
say
the
that
loaded
Sherry
shotgun in his hand,
blames
and his
the
finger was on the
incident
trigger.
on
You
everybody
say
but
that
her
Sherry
son.
blames
So
the incident
what do you mean by that? How is it
on
not
everybody
his
but her son.
responsibility what
So
he did?
what
She
do you
thinks
mean
I,
by that? How
I
is
don't
it
know,
not
maybe
his
because of my
responsibility
actions
what
that
he did?
I'm the
She
reason
thinks
that he snapped in
I
the
don't
first
know,
place.
maybe because of my actions
However,
that I'm
he's
the
been like
reason
that
that he
for his
snapped
whole
in the
life.
first place.
From the
However,
time I've
he's
known
been
him.
like that
All
for
right,
his whole
and how
life.
long had you known him?
From the time
Since
I've
we
known
met
him.
in 7th
All right,
grade,
and how
so
long
about
had you known him?
2006, but we got to
Since
know
we
each
met
other
in
more in
7th
high
grade,
school. So I'd say about 2010.
2006, but we
All
got
right,
to know
so
each
you had
other
known
more in
him
high
a
school.
long
So
time.
I'd say about
Was he
2010.
volatile like
All
this
right,
all
so you had
along?
known
Would he
him a long time.
would he go
Was he
off?
volatile
Would he
like this
have
all along? Would he go
rage
off?
problems?
Would
Would
he
he do the kind of things that would
rage problems?
be
Would
antecedent to
would
this,
he
that would
do the
lead up
kind
to
of
this
things
kind of
that
thing?
would
We definitely, when
be
we fought,
antecedent
there was
to
one
this
time
that
I was
would lead up to
pregnant,
this
and
kind
we
of
got
thing?
into a fight, and
We
he punched
definitely,
2
when
holes
we
in the wall,
fought,
and
there
he
was
tore
one
the
time I
door
was
off her.
pregnant,
The
and we got
hinges.
into a fight, and he punched
You
2 holes
weren't
in
in
the wall, and
favor
he
of
tore
this
the door
union
off
from the
her.
beginning,
The
right?
Never.
hinges.
Absolutely
You
not. I
weren't
saw the
in
writing
favor
on the
of
wall.
this union from
Did
the
you know
beginning,
when
right?
they got married?
Absolutely
No.
not. I saw the
Why
writing
did you
on
keep
the
that
wall.
from your mother?
Did you know when they
I
got
actually
married?
kept it from everyone.
Why?
Why
We
did
went
you
and
keep that
got
from your mother?
married
I
in
actually
Tahoe.
kept it from
I didn't tell
everyone.
anyone.
Why?
I just
We went and got.
I was at that point. I was
married in
19 and I was
Tahoe.
naive.
I didn't tell
And
anyone.
then
I just.
when you got
I was at
pregnant,
that point. I was 19
you didn't
and I was
know that
naive.
either.
And then
No, I did
when
not.
you got
Why not?
pregnant,
I didn't tell
You
anyone.
didn't
I was
know that
scared
either.
because I knew
No,
her
I did
reaction
not.
wasn't
Why
going to be
not?
good.
I didn't
I
tell
always
anyone.
told
I was
her,
scared
if
because I
something
knew her
happens,
reaction wasn't going to be good.
all you have to
I
do is
always
call
told
me
her,
and say
if
I'm
something
coming home.
happens,
Because you know you
all you
can
have to
come
do is
home
call me and
anytime.
say I'm coming
And she
home.
did do
Because
that.
you know you can come home anytime.
Now, Sherry,
And she did do that.
his mother,
now
is
Sherry
petitioning for
his
grandparent
mother,
rights.
Correct.
Um, and
is petitioning for
this
grandparent rights.
conversation we're
Correct,
having
yes.
here comes at a
And
crucial time.
This conversation we're having here
because
comes at a
I'm
crucial
hoping
time.
that we can find some way to avoid the government
because
getting involved in your
I'm
family
hoping
life
that
here.
we can find
Yes.
some way to
You know,
avoid
coming
the
up,
government getting
Alexa's
involved
former
in your
mother-in-law
family life
says
here.
she is
Yes.
furious.
Coming up,
She hasn't
Alexa's
seen her
former
grandson
mother-in-law
for
says
months,
she
and
is
Alexa is
furious.
being brainwashed
She
by
hasn't seen
Anita
her grandson
to
for
keep her
months,
out
and
of the
Alexa
picture.
is being
Well, we're going to meet
brainwashed
her.
by
We're going to talk
Anita
about all of
to
this when we
keep
come
her
back.
out of the picture. But we're going to meet her. We're going to talk about all of this when we come back.
Alexa knows she pushed Dylan over. She knows she abused him mentally and physically. I said, you know, all this is your fault. And she said, you'll never see my grandson again. And hung up on me.
She said, you'll never see my grandson.
And later,
You weren't even involved with your daughter. You didn't like your daughter.
And later,
Yeah, sure.
You weren't
That
even
was an
involved with your
incident,
daughter. You
Dr.
didn't like your
Phil.
daughter.
You should be honest.
Yeah.
She's not normal.
That was an incident, Dr. Phil. You should be honest. She's not normal.
It enrages me that Sherry blames Alexa for her son Dylan coming into our home with a loaded shotgun with enough bullets to kill all of us. I think it's disgusting. I definitely think that this family should back off.
Alexa's mother-in-law, Sherry, says she tried to be civil, but Anita and Alexa aren't looking out for her grandson's needs, and now she has no choice but to take them to court.
Alexa cut me out of my grandson's life because I told her I thought she was to blame for what happened in Dawn. Today is my grandson's 5th birthday. This is the first time he hasn't been with us on his birthday. I want him to forget about you. She knows she pushed Dylan over this. She knows she abused him mentally and physically. I said, you know, all this is your fault. And she said, you'll never see my grandson again, and hung up on me. That was the last time I talked to her. I was angry. But I was tired of walking on eggshells with her. I have seen signs that Alexa had been abusive to my grandson, and I've seen bruises on him. Who hurt you, Victor? Who did that? And I've seen bruises on him. Why?
Because Mama hurt me.
I noticed a bruise on his cheekbone right here. And I said, did Mommy do that? And he said, yes, Mommy hurt you.
Mama smacked me on my face.
You smacked you in the face?
Yeah.
Dylan spiraled out of control when Alexa cheated on him. Dylan kicked our bedroom door open, and then we had the shotgun by the bed and left with it. When Dylan got arrested, he was charged for trying to kill a police officer. And I said, what? He wasn't trying to kill a police officer. There was no way. He only had one leg out of the truck. He did not brandish a weapon. My son got 8 years in prison. I think his sentence was really unfair. I think I'm being punished for what my son did, and I don't think it's fair. I think I'm being punished for what my son did.
Okay, Sherry, I'm glad you're here. And I want to make it clear.
Okay, Sherry, I'm glad you're here.
You didn't show up at that house with a shotgun.
Want to make it clear.
No matter what the intent may or may not have been.
At that house with a
you weren't the one that did that.
No matter
so
what the intent may or may not have been.
I'm not trying to
you weren't the one that did
paint
that,
you
so
with that brush. But do you acknowledge
paint you
that
with that brush?
Clear boundaries were crossed here by your son when he came in that house?
Clear boundaries were crossed here by your son
and
when
he did have a loaded weapon.
Uninvited.
Yes. But
and
you
did have a
think that
weapon.
it's Alexa's fault
but
that your son is in prison,
it's Alexa's
right?
fault.
Yeah, well, it's partly her fault.
Your son is in prison,
completely.
Right?
He has to take responsibility. I think it's her fault how she mentally and physically abused him over the years. She said she doesn't.
Mentally and physically
abused him over the years.
She said she didn't.
Liars.
She
You lied about a lot of things just now.
You guys are liars.
A lot of things.
And
And it
what
is
was
right,
it?
Alexa, and you know it.
Okay.
I actually did not lie, but thank you, Sherry. Because you're a pathological liar, just like your son. Goodbye.
You're a pathological liar, just like your son.
That's what you do not be friends
Because
How many felonies does he have? How many felonies does he have? One? Can you pull that up, please? We need to pull this up so she can see that he has 4 felonies and 1 misdemeanor. So she can see that he has 4 felonies and 1 misdemeanor.
That's right. Why do you beat your daughter all the time?
I yes, I beat my daughter all the time.
Why do you beat
My
your
daughter
daughter?
doesn't even live in my house.
And she beats your grandson.
No, he doesn't. And if she did, I would turn her in because I'm a mother who practices tough love. That's why my children aren't in
That's why your daughter told you all over the years how crazy you are and how you beat her.
Well, thank God I'm crazy because I had to deal with your son that day. Well, thank God I'm
Okay,
crazy
listen,
because I had to deal with your
I'll
son
let
that
everybody
day.
vent here for a second.
Okay, listen.
I'll let everybody vent here for a second.
I want my grandson around
Let
us.
everybody vent here for a
I've
second.
been doing this for 45 years.
grandson around us.
And
I've been doing this for
I'm
45
trained in
years.
forensic psychology.
And
And I've
trained in
worked
forensic
hostage
psychology.
situations. I've been in
I've
this
worked
very
hostage
scenario.
situations. I've been
And
in
I'm telling
this
you,
very scenario.
when you walk in there in an
I'm
emotionally
telling you,
charged situation
when you walk
with
in there
5
in
shots
an
in a
emotionally
shotgun,
charged situation
and
with 5
things
shots
start to
in a
melt
shotgun,
down, and you start to get
and
confused,
things start to
people
melt
start
down,
to die.
and you start to get
And
confused.
I can show you
People start to
headline
die.
after headline
And I
after
can show
headline
you
after headline,
headline after headline
where
after headline
estranged
after headline.
couples wind
Where
up in
estranged
murder-suicide
couples
situations where the children
wind
are
up
killed,
in
the spouse is
murder-suicide
killed,
situations
and then
where the
suicide.
children are killed,
That woman
the
put
spouse
herself
is
in
killed,
front of that
and
barrel
then
of that
suicide.
shotgun and walked
That
him out
woman
that
put
front
herself
door.
in
I
front
heard a
of that
different
barrel
story.
of that shotgun and walked him
I
out
can-
that front
pushed him
door.
out.
I heard a different
No,
story.
Alexa did
Well,
not push him out.
I
No,
can-
she did not.
That's what she told
Well,
me.
let's
No,
put it this
Alexa
way.
did not
Let's put
push
it
him
this
out.
way.
No, she
Somebody
did not.
got
Leave
him out that
the floor,
front
Sherry.
door.
This way.